In the last devlog, we made some pretty good progress in a short amount of time. I mean, when you think about it, the game is already almost complete. Let's check our to-do list real quick and see what we are missing for a full finished game. Let's see. Mechanics check, level layout check, gameplay check. Okay. We are missing the title screen and general UI and menus the player can access, a sound system for sound effects and music, UI art, environment art, a tutorial, visual effects, shaders, and the story. Yeah, this is going to take a while. Let's begin with the title screen, because what kind of game doesn't have a title screen? Like, come on. I started with the buttons that you can interact with. The start button to start playing the game, duh. The settings button, which will take us to the menu where we can tinker with the audio settings. And the quit button, for when you realize that the game is kinda ass and you really just want to leave more than anything. Now, jokes aside, I really like the way I made the UI functionality. You see, all of the work is located in two manager scripts. And I set up the scripts in a way that you can just plop them onto a UI object, assign all of your interactive UI elements, and they will all automatically have animations, functions, and sound effects that I have set up working pretty much out of the gate. The reason why this is a great system is because I can just reuse these manager scripts for any future projects really. Since the only real difference my future projects will have when it comes to UI is the visuals and the sounds. And not having to rewrite the same functionality for every project is going to save me a lot of time. I also made little icons in the player UI to show how many double jump upgrades they acquired. Additionally, I made them refill every few seconds, but only if you are grounded. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the UI stuff, except the sliders for sound volumes don't really work, so let's get that done next. So, my game needs sounds, but before I make sound effects and music for the game, I need to make some kind of sound system. So what exactly do I need to do? Well, firstly, I want to be able to separate sound effects from music, so the players can choose to adjust their volume independently and have a way to adjust the main volume which affects both sound effects and music. I also want to make a sound system that makes it easy to not only sort sounds, but also allows me to implement them as easily as possible. Games usually have hundreds or even thousands of different sound effects, so a proper sound manager is a must-have. Firstly, I made a sound script that allows me to assign sound types, volume, whether the sound plays on awake, if it's looped, and so on and so forth. Then I made a sound manager that will hold my audio mixers which control the volume for sounds with different sound types. More importantly, however, the sound manager holds the functions for playing and stopping sounds. The way this works is by turning the audio manager into an instance of itself. This way, it can be referenced in other scripts, and those scripts can call the play sound function. The reason as to why this is convenient is because in other scripts, for let's say an enemy that makes a noise when it spots the player, all I need to do is play the play function and type the name of the sound the monster will make. All the sounds are stored in a single place and any script can call them through a single function. There are still some places where it can be improved. For example, I would like you to track how many sounds are played at the same time in a close vicinity to each other, to prevent the volume from going haphazard. But that is for future projects. And that marks the sound system as done for this game. Now, it will be good to make a tutorial so the player knows how to play the game. So let's do just that. There is no need for a lengthy tutorial with walls of text, since the controls for the game are extremely simple. You jump, walk, sprint, and... oh, no wait, that's it. So I made a simple text pop-up showing players the controls. And yeah, that's it for the tutorial. The only thing missing is for the player to be able to finish the game. So I made a little cube at the end of the level, which when interacted with, will end the game. I don't know what the cube will be in the final game just yet, but I will figure that out as I go. I playtested the level and everything seemed fine, the jumps were possible, but something didn't feel right. Even though the game is short, it might be a little annoying if you were to fall into the void and die near the end of the level, and then respawn all the way at the beginning. So I made a little simple checkpoint system that will respawn you at the last checkpoint you interacted with. And with that, the game loop is complete. Now, before I end the video, you might be wondering why I named the video the most optimal way to make games. Remember how I talked about my fancy sound system and UI system code? Well, you see, every game is different, but the main differences are mechanics and the art. However, all games share some common elements. For example, all games have sounds and title screens. What I'm getting at is that by making a bunch of small games, where you focus on these foundational elements for your games, you will be able to reuse them for future projects and keep improving them. And that saves a lot of time in development. In my next project, I will just be able to reuse those scripts and have a working sound system, UI manager, player interaction system literally within the first few minutes of development, as opposed to me spending hours making them for this project. This will in turn give me more time to flesh out the existing idea or expand the mechanics and the content for the game. This is how you can linearly increase the scope of your games by making a bunch of small games first. Even if you fail to complete them, it still adds up to your skill. Well, that is pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you for watching and I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.